You're looking at live pictures out of Iowa. Former President Trump is holding a campaign rally there tonight. Yes, indeed, it is the time for that. He could be days away from becoming the first former president to be indicted, and he would continue, he says, with this campaign. His lawyer is saying today that Trump will not testify before a New York grand jury. That jury is investigating Trump's alleged role in a hush money payment to Stormy Daniels to cover up that alleged affair. Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, who says he made the payoff at Trump's direction, did testify today before that grand jury and said Trump should be held accountable. Out front now, longtime conservative lawyer George Conway. And I do note CNN has previously reported that his wife, Kellyanne Conway, also appeared before that grand jury. So that's just for disclosure. Obviously, George, I know you can't talk about that. But when it comes to this particular case, I know you believe it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when Trump is indicted. But this case has been out there for years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how solid is it? Where are we?
Well, I think it's a solid case legally and technically. It's just sort of an odd case to bring now after all these years. I think the case should have been brought on the afternoon of January 20th, 2021, when Trump's immunity expired as president. It should have been brought as a federal campaign finance law case, kind of like the one against Sean Edwards that failed. It failed for other reasons, right. but it's it was essentially he made a contribution to his own campaign through a straw man, Michael Cohen, and it didn't disclose it, and that's a violation of federal law.
So to talk about the timing, though, Trump's lawyer Joe Tacopina talked about the case earlier, and he's obviously trying to make the point that he believes this timing is all political. Here's what he said.
We are distorting laws to try and bag President Trump. I don't know what's supposed. He's leading all the polls. I don't know what it is, but clearly this prosecutor and this prosecutor's office has made an agenda of trying to get him. They've scoured his personal life and business life for 7 years to try and find something.
All right, to your point, have they done it the day after? Maybe. Does Trump have a leg to stand on here?
I don't think it's a legal leg. I mean, he's got to actually defend the case on the merits, on the facts, and on the law in court. And if they were really out to get him, they would have tried to get him on other stuff, because they had prosecutors who were extremely competent who were willing to bring the case. And for some reason, Bragg decided not to do it. Maybe he didn't want to go first. I don't know. Maybe it was the Pomerantz book that caused him to do this now. Maybe not. Or maybe there's something we don't know. I mean, there's always could be something that they found out that we don't know that changed the equation for them. I mean, we didn't know for months, for example, that Donald Trump was stonewalling the government and hiding documents in Mar-a-Lago until the search warrant.
Right.
We don't know. There may be something. We don't know. We don't know.
Okay, so when you heard that Trump doesn't plan to testify before the grand jury, he's been given the chance. I don't think it surprised anybody that he didn't, but he was given the chance. If you were his lawyer, would you have advised him to testify, or did he do the right thing?
I would advise him under no circumstances testify in any proceeding, civil or criminal, because he'd get destroyed on cross-examination. And if you remember the first book that Bob Woodward wrote about Trump, I think it was called Fear. There's a whole discussion about how his lawyers tried to prep him for a possible appearance before Bob Mueller, and it was impossible. He would just lose his mind, and he would start saying whoppers left and right. And he was going to open. And in fact, the closing line in the book was Trump's own lawyer saying, "You're an effing liar."
So in that case, you're saying he did the right thing there. But
yeah,
obviously, you've got a lot of things here. You've got Fulton County.
Right.
You've got E. Jean Carroll.
Right.
You've got Stormy Daniels. You've got the special counsel, which is classified documents, Mar-a-Lago, and January 6th.
Yes.
There's 5. There's also some other civil things going on in New York. A former president has never been indicted on criminal charges until possibly now. Right. And it may just not be just a one thing. It may be like a whole bunch of things, as I just said.
My view, I would put the over-under at 3.
You put the over-under on 3. Okay, so before I ask you which 3, do you think that it will stop him or deter him? Is there any reason why this would impact him actually running?
No.
So legally, no.
Legally, no. I mean, he can run. He could be incarcerated, and he could still run for president. And if he were elected, I think the better legal argument under the Constitution, under Article 1, would be that they'd have to spring him. But I don't think he's going to get elected, but I do think he is going to run. I think he's going to make a big issue out of his legal troubles to say that he is persecuted. He's going to say they're persecuting me. He's already said it, because they want to persecute you. And he's going to say, and if the violence erupts, he's going to say, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault, prosecutors.
Okay, so now the 3. Stormy Daniels, number 1.
Georgia,
Fulton County, number 2.
documents.
And Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago, and possibly January 6th.
And possibly January 6th.
Yeah.
So not E. Jean Carroll.
Oh, no, that's not a criminal case. That's not a, it's a
Right,
civil
okay,
case.
so you're just
But
talking,
okay. He's got a big problem there, too.
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much, George, as always.